is your average Project Zomboid house. But compare this to a home that is large, completely made of steel, full of surprises, and features a beautiful ocean view. Meet the Battleship. And despite all its strengths, it had one glaring weakness: one entrance and one exit. So picture this. Every single night, a wave of zombies attacks, growing with each consecutive night until their numbers dwarfed that of a small city. How long could you really survive? That's where I come in. And I was accompanied by my friend Fishdoor and fellow Zomboid content creator, Mr Brollow.
Hey, man. Hey, guys. It's the captain.
Hello.
Let me just get a good look at it.
Is there something wrong with my outfit?
Oh, no, it's 2024. I got nothing to say.
Good.
Twitter is powerful. Twitter is powerful.
Now, for those who haven't seen my previous video, I'm embarking on a journey from being a beginner in this game to being a pro. So please enjoy, subscribe, and give me any advice you can to help me get there. Unlike my previous challenge, we wouldn't have a long period of time to prepare. This was about getting ready effectively. And if it wasn't already apparent, this battleship was a maze. Tight and narrow passageways, various random rooms, and over 4 floors. So it wasn't so much effective as it was chaotic. After frantically searching through several useless rooms, we came across this sealed red door. And since I had spawned in with the key for the battleship, we were able to pop that bad boy open and load up on the riches. Ooh! This is all we've got to work with, okay? Ooh, there's 2 shotguns here.
Oh, really? I'll take a shotgun any day.
Gotta watch out for that Fishdoor guy. He's got sticky fingers. Now, it's important to note that while this might seem like a big haul for day 1 of a challenge like this, the horde that would attack us each night would grow infinitely. So in only 24 hours after spawning, we'd be facing a horde of around 100 zombies. Meaning all of this gear was nice to have, but it wouldn't keep us alive for long. It'd really just be a nice starting point. Fortunately enough, the ship supplied in more ways than one. We found a cafeteria with plenty of food, extra guns and ammo, crafting materials, and even a bar, which helps since Brollow is a borderline alcoholic. Now that we were kitted up with all the essentials, I made my first trek to the shore. On the other side were several military tents, and while there wasn't anything groundbreaking, I did manage to find a few pieces of gear to upgrade my outfit. Towards the end of day 1, we set up shop in the main control room of the battleship, and equipped with whatever weapons we'd been able to find, we made our way to the bridge to defend from the first horde.
What the fuck?
Nice. That was a successful first horde. This was just a taste test, because in less than 24 hours, we'd be attacked by double the amount of zombies, and it could very quickly get out of hand. We had several needs to address to prepare ourselves for future days. Inevitably, ammunition would become a problem. While this amount of zombies could be taken down with mostly melee weapons, eventually melee wouldn't be an option. So we needed to stack as much ammunition as possible to prepare. In addition, we'd need a heap of metalworking resources to be able to build what we'd need. And in order to be able to get both of those things, we would need a vehicle to get us around. Since no vehicle had spawned, we'd have to explore out to the nearest source of cars. Fortunately, as we set out for our first adventure, I was accompanied by Fishdoor, who, as soon as he set foot on the road, was able to pinpoint our exact location on the Project Zomboid map. This was the benefit of surrounding myself with intelligent but slightly less handsome partners. We headed up the road to a nearby mechanic shop in the hope of acquiring a vehicle and a bit of propane to get us started. While we had come across a few cars on the way over, they were either stuck on the bridge without gas or they didn't have keys. And this would become a recurring theme, since none of us had taken the burglar trait, which meant a car with keys was the only option. That may sound stupid, but no, actually, yeah, it was pretty stupid. But anyway, Fishdoor and I followed the road closer to West Point. As we neared the mechanic shop, we did have to tackle a few zombies. However, that was short work for us and we briskly made our way into the store. Realistically, finding what we needed in the store itself was a pretty foregone conclusion, since finding specific propane tools and some gas cans was extremely common in these kinds of shops. So we pushed a little further into West Point to check the outskirts of the town, ideally to find a propane tank or other useful tools like a sledgehammer. All the while, our fearless Captain Brollow was home at the battleship looting bodies, sorting our gear, and setting up defenses for the next night's horde. Fishdoor and I had made our way to a group of storage units outside of town, but in the process, he had gone through a few scuffles and was looking worse for wear. And at the same time, the storage units themselves were starting to get overrun with hordes moving out from the town center. So Fishdoor started to head back to the ship to heal up, but the Luke gremlin in me was whispering, "If you leave now, you might never come back. I bet one of these has a big axe in it. Big, strong axe. And meat. Lots of delicious Wagyu steaks. It's hard to find Wagyu steaks in this economy." But I was experienced now. I know when to say no to the loot gremlin, so I checked out a few units and then called it quits before things got messy. Realistically, we had to rush home, since the Horde was going to be arriving soon, and even though we legged it all the way there, we definitely cut it close since we barely had even minutes to prepare. Luckily enough, Big Handsome Brollow had prepared the base for an attack, with a funnel-like system that would delay the zombies so that we could pick them off. And with that, the second nightly attack began. Oh, this could be interesting.
They're already coming in.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
Yes, your defenses are actually cooking very hard right now. Uh-oh.
Oh boy, yeah, here they come. Stand back, stand back.
Need a grenade?
Okay. No. Yeah, we got this, we got this. I'm just saying, that little barricade thing really held them back.
This was another tense but overall straightforward horde. But as the hordes grew larger, our ammo dwindled even more, ramping up the challenge with each consecutive night. Heading into day 3, we had to make some tough decisions about what to prioritize, since every minute spent planning was a minute spent not doing anything. We would still need a vehicle before we could make headway on any of our other goals. So even though it felt like we were running a broken record, we set out on day 3 to once again push further into West Point and acquire a car. This time, Fishdoor stayed home to loot all the zombies and heal up, and I headed out with Mr Brollow. While there was still a fair amount of zombies, Brollow and I were both in pretty good shape this time around, so we put a bit of hard time in and cleared out as many as we could. We went a little bit further down the road than the storage units, which brought us to a location with more cars to investigate. And though it may shock you, even with all these cars, we didn't manage to find a single one with keys in it. Well, I didn't. But wise and perceptive Mr Brollow found not one, but 2 with keys. So, since we were nearby a gas station and the power was still switched on, we took some time to fill the cars up. Now, with our first goal out of the way, we could set our eyes on one of the primary problems that I mentioned before, ammunition. Because we were gonna bang these zombies, because we needed ammo to bust, because guns need ammo. But when we arrived at the gun store, my dumbass strolled in and triggered the gun store alarm, meaning we very quickly had a lot of company. I was not super well equipped for this fight, but with 2 experts beside me, I was able to pick off zombies here and there, and we successfully cleared out enough to start tackling the gunshot problem. I can't take credit for what comes next, because this was a learning experience for me too. But with no sledgehammer in our possession, Fishdoor knew a pretty smart trick for breaking into this wall. First, we'd take one of the zombie corpses that we created earlier and place it next to the wall section that we wanted to get through. Then, we'd use a mixture of gasoline and, you guessed it, fire to set this particular wall tile ablaze. And since it was raining, that fire did exactly what we needed it to. It damaged the wall enough to break through, and then it went out. So the 3 of us headed into the gun store. Oh, we got a lot. We're eating good tonight.
Oh, it's 7.62. We can use that AK 308 223.
Bro, there's a lot, but we have to think about getting back. This is exactly what we were after, but the reality was that the clock was already ticking to get home for the next horde. We quickly took everything we could grab and hopped in the car to head home. Our defenses hadn't survived the previous night, so we jammed a car in the pathway in the hopes that it would stall the horde. And I won't spoil anything, but things definitely got a little heated. Okay, alright. Well, that car does not work where it is, so prepare.
Here, hold on. I had to sacrifice the car a bit, but it's...
Oh well, survival is more important. Uh-oh, this is about to get interesting.
Oh, he just jumped off. Ooh. Stuck on a pipe.
I gotta go this way. I'm sorry.
That was a little too close for my liking. We had reached day 4. Things were starting to get a little bit more dangerous. When I set out to survive as long as possible, I honestly thought this might be a 20-day, 30-day challenge. But as the hordes grew and our ammo depleted, that became less and less believable. At this point, it would be a huge achievement if we made it past a week. But in challenges like this, you just take things one step at a time. With ammo somewhat stocked up, we moved to our second primary goal, defenses. Fishdoor and I quickly started driving towards West Point and...
Oh shit.
Fishdoor and I quickly started walking towards West Point and made our way over to the factory area and storage units we visited earlier. Now, since we had more tools at our disposal from our looting runs the day before, we were able to pop open the doors to a few buildings that we hadn't visited previously. The factory gave us a small amount of resources, particularly metal sheets, bars, and welding rods. Now, this wouldn't be enough to supply a flawless defense, but it would be a start. While we were in the area, I decided to break into the storage units that we visited earlier to see if there was anything worth taking. And while there wasn't a lot, I did get my hands on this garden scythe, which was pretty effective, but most importantly, made me look fucking sick. And after that quick run was done, we headed home, wedging a car in the pathway to defend from the horde, hoping that this time it would be a little more effective. The horde attacked, but this time the car was wedged perfectly, blocking the zombies from getting through. It's actually slowing them down very nicely.
Yeah, we'd be dead if that car wasn't there, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god, bro. Look at them all. This setup was kind of difficult to explain because the zombies struggled to break through the car, but we couldn't get too close to them. We were forced to needlessly waste ammo by fighting them from a distance. And it was crazy to think that we might be better off letting them through, but after spending hours and hours picking them off from the safety of the pier, our ammo stocks were dangerously low. That left us with one option, and it was an area I was pretty familiar with from my last adventure. The military checkpoint. This was the closest source for a lot of ammo based on where we were in the map, so the three of us headed over as soon as we had geared up for the trip. On a journey of this size, we'd have to be incredibly efficient with our time, since we only had a certain amount of hours in the day before we'd have to be home. And unlike last time when I was stuck at this barricade with Diamond Kid, my new teammates knew that picking this barricade up was as simple as, well, picking it up. Well, you can just pick that up? What? So we headed into the military checkpoint and straight to the most valuable tent there, picking up a heap of guns and ammunition that should supply us for at least the night. And since we had a few hours left in the day by the time we had cleared the checkpoint, I used my prior knowledge to suggest that we head to the nearby warehouse, which I knew was stocked to the brim with tools and metalworking supplies. For the first time in my Project Zomboid journey, I felt like the guy with all the information in the world, and that was pretty satisfying. But compared to Fishdoor and Mr Brollow, I still had a lot to learn. After looting the warehouse for an exceptional amount of materials, we were running very close on time, so we decided to pack up the car and start heading home. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time for Fishdoor to use the metalworking resources we had acquired, since we'd left it so late to return home. But at the very least, we had enough ammo to clear out the huge amount of zombies attacking.
Because the car is there, there's like nothing we can really do. If we get into it to try and move it, it's not gonna go anywhere.
Honestly, this was the first Project Zomboid run I'd played where I wasn't god-awful at shooting a gun, and being able to line up the heads and pop them gave me a little bit of a rush. I was a killing machine. Sitting on my cozy wooden pier, wiping them like no tomorrow, I was a modern-day Terminator. Nothing could stop me. This would have felt cooler if we hadn't managed to pretty much stem the entire horde from boarding the battleship. And as we cleared out the last few zombies, I was hit with a sinking feeling. The best way I could describe that feeling was shame, because I shouldn't be taking advantage of beefy metal cars to protect myself. I should be taking the fight to the horde. So in the morning, I proposed a new plan. Once we'd looted the bodies, Fishdoor would set up the metal defenses and we would remove the car and take the horde out head on. This was a group decision, but it was the right one, and we wanted to feel the rush of a challenge. With ammo stocks running low, while the boys cleaned up the house, collated the ammo and set up defenses, I did a quick run to town to see if there was anywhere I could pick up more ammo. After checking the gun shop, which was now empty, and making my way to the police station, which was far too populated for one man, I had to cut my losses, so I headed home. Ammo was a real problem, but unfortunately we had pretty much exhausted all our options. There would be nowhere within reach that we could travel to and get back in time for the horde, so I had to suck it up and equip a pistol for this attack. It was a little emasculating, but I took one for the team. Fishdoor had built his entire character build around metalworking, so he had been building the whole morning and had set up a huge number of metal fences to stall the horde while we picked them off. And Brollow had come up with the idea to set up 2 campfires on the pier to set the horde alight, which, well, let's just say it gave me a little bit of PTSD. Now, I'm not really sure why, but these two plans would have pretty much the strangest combination effect that I've ever seen in Project Zomboid, but that was something we wouldn't find out until the horde arrived. Oh, they appear, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I have an M1911. Yeah, they are on fire, huh?
Why are the things expanding into blurred walls?
Yeah, what's going on with the walls?
Now, I don't know about you, but we had no clue why when these metal fences set on fire, they somehow turned into walls. Our headcanons said that this was a chemical reaction caused by the masses of bodies below the fences themselves. But honestly, this didn't seem like it was supposed to happen. And after Brollow got bored of sitting back, unable to do anything, he rushed out to take on the Horde head on, which was all fun and games until he made a minor misstep that would become a major mistake.
I'm on fire! I'm on fire!
No! Brollow! Brollow! No!
What do I do?
No!
Guys!
Come back!
I can't get to the water in time! Kill the zombie!
No.
Oh no! No!
No!
No, Brollow!
Run!
Brollow. He was a good fighter. He just wanted to have a good time. He just loved to party. Mourning the loss of our fallen brother, Fishdoor and I looked into each other's eyes, and maybe it was unfounded, but with 1,000+ zombies killed between us, we felt that we had accomplished what we set out to do. Without wanting to go, without our handsome stallion, Mr. Brollow, we walked into the sunset. God damn it, I can't even kill myself. Brollow, I'm coming! I'm coming, Brollow! I'm coming, Brollow!